So could you please tell the Commission your full name?
Derek Bellin.
And until recently, you were Secretary of the New South Wales branch of the National Union of Workers?
Yes.
And how did you come to leave that position, sir?
I resigned after it was found that one of my administrative staff was committing fraud.
And is that the only reason you resigned?
Yes.
There was no fraud committed by you?
No.
You're certain about that?
I am positive. At no time did I commit fraud or ask anyone to do that on my behalf.
How long were you member, sorry, I'll withdraw that. How long were you Secretary of the Union?
13 years.
And prior to that, what was your position?
I was an organiser.
And whilst you were an organiser, was it your father that was Secretary of the Union?
It was.
How long was he Secretary for?
I think he was Secretary for 21 years or something like that. He worked there for 32.
How did you come to be elected Secretary?
I worked out in the industry for around 8 years. I was a delegate at a warehouse called Grace Brothers. Positions became available within the union and I got a job, like anyone else, like any other delegate.
When you resigned, did you give any notice to the union in accordance with the rules of your intention to resign?
No.
Are you aware that the rules provide that 28 days notice of resignation should be given?
I'm also aware that the rules provide that that notice could be paid out or not paid.
Day to day, were you involved with the approval of payments?
Yes.
And what was your role?
Well, I was the treasurer, so I was responsible for all payments at the end of the day.
How did you go about approving payments?
Well, I mean, generally they would come before the BCM or Danielle would bring them to me. If an organiser wished to purchase something, say the political department or what we call the media area wanted to, say, get some advertising done on Channel 10, something like that, which we did. They would come to me, quotes would be taken, there'd be discussions. Generally a fellow by the name of Mark Bartolome would handle that side of things. Day-to-day sort of payments, things like electricity, utilities, things like that. Well, I mean, they were generally allowed to be paid by the staff. Anything sort of outside of that or extraordinary was generally raised with myself or Wayne.
Just informally?
Well, yeah, generally, informally, yeah. If someone needed something, yeah.
And in terms of credit card payments, did you approve the payment of the credit card bills as they came in?
I did, yes.
And what was the policy, so far as you understood it, in relation to the usage of credit cards within the New South Wales branch of the NUW?
Okay, the usage of credit cards within the New South Wales branch in regards to organisers, where they could use it for parking and or accommodation without approval. Anything outside of that, they would have to ring myself or Mr Meany and get it approved. If we weren't available, they could then make their own decision, but it would be questioned when it came in on the end of the month.
And who would question it?
Me or Wayne. How
would you go about questioning it?
Generally, Danielle would point it out to us, that there was something on there that shouldn't have been on there, and then they'd be called in.
Is that really the case, is it?
Absolutely.
Right. Well, do you recall seeing statements of credit cards?
Yes.
And you checked them, did you?
Not of recent, no.
When did you stop checking them?
Oh, I never really stopped checking them. I think that of recent times I really haven't been up to scratch. I mean, a lot of people would know that the last 12 months haven't been good for me. I've sort of done my best. I remember a number of times where Danielle said Wayne had checked them, or where they were available, and I sort of breezed over them, looked at the end payments, that type of thing. But yeah, myself, I accept responsibility.
Right. So are you saying that it was only the last 12 months that you got a bit more lax about checking?
No. I think because everything started to be paid electronically, that I sort of was seeing a lot less paperwork.
Well, how did they get to be paid electronically? Didn't you have a token?
Not.
You did not have a token?
No.
Right. Who had a token?
I believe Danielle had a token, and I think the other token was either locked in the safe or with maybe Jenny, but I never had a token ever.
Right. So do you know how it was meant to be paid? Do you know how the tokens were meant to work?
If I could just stop you for a minute, if you could sort of explain what a token is.
Right. You tell me, did you know how the tokens in relation to the electronic funds transfers were meant to work?
As I've just said, I don't know what you're talking about by the word token.
Right. So I take it from that you never exercised your position as Secretary to approve electronic funds transfers by the use of a token. Is that the position?
No, I did not. If a token does that. I mean, if you could explain what a token is, please.
Oh, well, if you don't know, is that your answer? You don't know how it works?
I don't know what a token is. I do know how electronics funds work. You move bank money electronically. I'm not an idiot. But the token you're talking about, is it a physical thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Is it a number? Is it a physical thing? What is a token?
So do you say that, so far as you're aware, the other token was in the safe or with Jenny?
If it's a physical thing, I believe it would have been in the safe or with Jenny or with Danielle.
Why do you believe that?
Because they're the only three people that would have it. If I didn't have it, one of those two would.
Right. Now, in terms of the usage of credit cards, you've indicated it was either for accommodation or
for organisers,
parking.
yes. Yes, for organisers.
Those same rules apply to you, sir?
No.
What rules
Nor did they apply to
you?
Mr Meany.
I beg your pardon?
Nor did they apply to Mr Meany.
What rules applied to you and Mr Meany?
The rules that applied to myself was that if I believed it was to benefit for the union or for the good of the union, I could use that expenditure.
Right. Did you discuss that with anyone?
Well, it was the general rule. I mean, the ECM were well aware of my expenditure and whatnot.
They're well aware of your expenditure?
Well, they're well aware that I can use the card to buy meals, that type of thing, absolutely.
What else do you say you're entitled to use your union credit card?
Whatever I believe would benefit the union.
Can you give some examples, please?
Well, I suppose sponsorship, a meal with a delegate who looks after a shed. I mean, I could probably give you 100 examples, but is there anything specific you're looking for?
There will be. How about holidays?
Holidays?
Yes.
No.
No? How about cruises?
No.
How about tattoos?
No.
You don't think they're appropriate to put on a union
Absolutely
credit card?
not.
Is it the case that you have ever put any such items on a union credit card?
No.
No?
No.
You're certain about that, are you?
I'm positive.
Absolutely sure about that?
I have never committed theft or asked anyone to do that on my behalf.
Could you please look at Derek Bill and Examination Bundle 2? That's not yet marked, but I would ask that that now be received into evidence, please.
That bundle will be NUW MFI 27.
Can I please ask you, sir, to, well, first of all, confirm with me that you had the use of a Union MasterCard and a Union American Express card?
The MasterCard in the last, I think, 18 months, 24 months, yeah. Yep.
And it was in your name?
In the union's name.
But with your name on it?
Actually, the last name was spelled incorrectly. Bellon it was spelled.
Right,
yeah.
but you had the usage of it?
Yes.
Yes. Have you ever used it, sir, to buy or use it for holidays at all?
I believe I used it once because my other card wouldn't work, and I phoned Danielle and informed her that I'd done that and that she should deduct the money.
Just once?
Well, I mean, Danielle used to pay all my things, so possibly maybe she used it.
Well, where did you used to go on holidays down at Lake Conjola?
Every year still do.
Yeah, and do you say you've only ever used your work credit card once in relation to holidays?
To my knowledge.
Right. Did Danielle used to go down with you to Lake Conjola?
No, not that I know of.
Right. And did you book the holiday in your name, sir?
Generally, yes.
Right. So if I ask you to go to, for example, tab called Holiday Park and particularly go to page 81, which the letter starts at page 80.
Yep.
Do you see there a summary provided by Shoalhaven
Yes.
City Council
Yep.
in relation to holidays at Lake Conjola?
Yep.
Does that accord with your understanding?
Well, I mean, what are they, 11, 12? Yeah, you go every year. Yeah, they might be right. I'm not sure.
Right. Could I now have you please given the first volume, that is MFI 6. Could you go to page 4, please? Do you see there a charge for the 17th of October for $1,438 for Lake Conjola? It says Ent Tour,
I do.
and that's on your Union credit card,
Yep.
right? And that the year is 2010.
Yep.
Right. So did you put that expense on the Union credit card? Did you, sir?
I'm not sure if that was paid electronically or I don't even think I had the MasterCard then, to be honest.
All right.
No.
Can I ask you, please, to go to page 10?
Yep.
See there a charge on the 29th of December 2011.
Yep.
Lake Conjola Ent Tour, $1,537 on your Union credit card.
Yep.
Did you put that on your Union credit card, sir? No, who did then?
Oh, well, I believe probably Danielle paid it from the office.
On the 29th of December.
Or maybe she paid it from home. I don't know. But it wasn't me.
Right. Well, can you go to page in the volume 2, which is the one recently marked MFI 27, I think. Page 89.
Yep.
Do you see that amount we looked at from before, the 17th
Yes.
of October 2010, in your name, and it says Mr. and Mrs. Derek Bellin.
Yes.
It's got an address there,
Yep.
and it's got that amount. Do you say that that was not paid by you, sir?
No, that's the one I think I paid and rang Danielle about.
Right, okay. Could you go to the next page, page 90? That's in your name, that tax receipt. It says Mr. and Mrs. Derek Bellin, Holiday Haven Tourist Parks, Lake
Yep.
Conjola Entrance Holiday Park, $1,537. Do you say that you did not pay that, sir?
I'm not aware that I paid that, but it looks like I did.
Could you
What it
please
says
go
there.
to page 95? Do you see there a document, if you go to that table with some payments listed there,
Yep.
do you see a payment there, 1,475, the second last column in the middle of that table?
Yes.
It's a booking apparently in your name.
Yes.
And if you go to page 26 of the other volume, volume 1,
Yes.
do you see a payment there for 1,475 in the Union credit card?
Yes. And I believe that was refunded.
Right. Well, it says it's a receipt for
Hang on, hang on. Hang on. What page was that you said?
1,475.
Page 26?
26?
26. If you just slow down a little bit, I've sort of, been in
Certainly, you
hospital,
take as
so-
long as you like, sir.
Okay. Yes, page 26.
Yeah, the 1,475 is what I'm inviting you to look at.
Yes.
That's 29 August, do you see that? And it
yes.
says FPOS security deposit. Do you say that you did not make that payment?
I did not make that payment.
Right. Do you see below on that page 26 in volume 1
Yes.
that there's a Match.com payment?
Yes.
Did you ever subscribe to Match.com?
No, not to my knowledge.
Right, not to your knowledge.
Not to my knowledge.
Can I ask you, please, in the other volume,
To do one at a time, maybe? Is that possible?
well, they relate to each other. you
Okay,
see.
well, maybe we should put them all together. Sorry. Yep.
Pardon, sir?
The other volume. No, it's all good. Sorry.
Can I ask you, please, to go to page 122 of the second volume?
Yes, I'm there.
Do you see the payment there for $260, receipted, it says on the top left-hand corner, on the 23rd of February.
Yes.
And then that matches at page 38.
Yes.
At the top of that, Lake Conjola Ent Tour, $260 on the 23rd of February. Do you say you didn't make that payment?
I did make that payment.
Okay. Back in that same volume we're looking at, back at page 34.
This is a bit confusing. When you say that volume...
Sorry, volume 1. Could you go to page 34?
Could I maybe ask for a break? I'm sort of getting a bit lightheaded.
A break?
Yeah, I'm getting a bit lightheaded, that's all. Haven't eaten or anything, so...
We normally break at this time, so we'll adjourn it.
All right.
We will resume at 2 p.m.
Okay, thank you.